Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 319 based on novel. So let's start. In True Yang's palace, all the other great beings were warm and cheerful. It was to be on good terms with a Universe Knight. And the other Universe Knights in the Hong Alliance were pretty close with True Yang. Why? Because not all Universe Knights were the same. Those who had evolved from Pinnacle Emperors were completely different from Universe Knights who had evolved from Invincible Emperors. There were two kinds of Invincible Emperors. Silver Eye represented the first type. He had a high life level. Thus, it was easy for him to become an Invincible Emperor. True Yang Emperor represented the second type. He was at an average level within his race and struggled to improve his genes. They were blessed if they could improve it 10 times. How difficult it was for them to become Invincible Emperors. They had to first survive Universe Knights. This path required some distinctive special skills. Both of them had great combat power after becoming Universe Knights. A warrior of the first type had a great godly body after turning into a Universe Knight. As for the second type, if one could survive Universe Knight attacks when they were only an undying fighter, how mighty would they be after becoming a Universe Knight? Eventually, all the guests left except for Wu-Tang Knight. Wu-Tang Knight and True Yang Knight had been close friends for a long time, even remaining close after Wu-Tang Knight became a Universe Knight. Wu-Tang, True Yang Knight said, "Do you know what's going on with Blade River Emperor? I came here with him and we accepted our inheritance together at the beginning. But after that, I started to live in seclusion and haven't heard anything about him. Do you know anything?" He had become a Universe Knight, yet Luo Feng hadn't come to congratulate him. He knew something was wrong. Wu-Tang Knight had a firm voice. "You don't know anything that's happened since? Then you've really missed a lot." Blade River Emperor stole everyone's thunder by accepting all the battle invitations sent to him by the heirs on this island. Wu-Tang Knight started to elaborate, from Luo Feng's 620,000 battles to the assassination attempt, and to what had happened recently in 9 remoteness space. True Yang Emperor was beaming at first, but as the story went on, his face took on a ghastly expression, especially when he heard how Luo Feng had nearly been assassinated and was now trapped in an impasse because of Bark Mirror Emperor. "They say Blade River Emperor is Luo Feng," Wu-Tang Knight said, smiling at True Yang. "Is Blade River Emperor really your disciple? You don't need to worry about that," True Yang said. "Ha ha." Wu-Tang Knight nodded with a smile. "I need to ask you a favor," True Yang said. "Just say the word," replied Wu-Tang Knight. He truly did value True Yang highly. For one thing, they had been confidants before. Plus, he believed True Yang had a bright future ahead of him. Given humans' talents, each Invincible Emperor that could make a breakthrough and become a Universe Knight was extraordinary. "I need some information on the dangerous places in the Ancestral God's secret region," True Yang said. "Especially 9 remoteness space. You want to go there?" Wu-Tang Knight answered. "Are you kidding?" Fierceness flashed through True Yang's eyes. "How could I not go?" "Ha ha." The ferocious True Yang. Wu-Tang nodded. "I've already sent all the information to you through Virtual Universe." True Yang grinned. "I've been in Primal Chaos City for hundreds of millions of years. I wonder if anyone remembers me." After only half a day. After True Yang was in his palace, patiently preparing. "My old friend," he said, "perhaps you feel really lonely after hundreds of millions of years of not being used." Suddenly, a black staff appeared in True Yang's hands, and there were 2 golden hoops on each end of the staff. The staff looked like a simple antique, which was a treasure True Yang had obtained when adventuring in the universe long ago. It had remained by his side through countless adventures, and its killing power had helped make him an Invincible Emperor. "My disciple treats me as his family," he said. "I couldn't have become a Universe Knight without him. This Bark Mirror Emperor dared to bully my disciple. As such, how can I spare him? A special life form, skilled at soul attack and inspection." True Yang suddenly became aggressive. In the past, he had roamed the universe, killing countless fighters to become an Invincible Emperor. He had lived in seclusion for so long that many of the undying of his generation had died. "I've created 3 pinnacle techniques during the past few 100 million of years. Now that I'm a Universe Knight, I'll try them on you first." Madness filled True Yang Emperor's eyes. He had provoked Universe Knights before and had survived. He was born to be reckless. His disposition grew savage. After an eternity spent in primal chaos city, the real True Yang was back. True Yang flew out of his palace and teleported to the spring portal in front of the palace of the guarding beast god and entered the secret region. A universe knight could teleport over 1,000 light years. In less than half a day, True Yang arrived at Rock Island in 9 remoteness space. I'll wait here. True Yang sat at the apex of a mountain with his legs crossed. Based on the information Wu Tang gave me, the heirs adventuring here will often come back to Rock Island and rest. So when Bark Mirror Emperor comes back, True Yang closed his eyes. He was like a tiger, relaxed yet ready to pounce and kill at any moment. Under Rock Island and at the bottom of 9 remoteness ocean, in another world, Luo Feng fled helter-skelter, doing his best just to stay ahead of the army by moving as quickly as possible. 3 shadows flashed in the sky and stopped. They were the noble prince and his 2 universe knights. Both of the universe knights had red skin and bloody horns. Coldness flashed in the prince's eyes. We still haven't found this foreign invader, even after all this time. Your Highness, the lanky universe knight said, our 9 remoteness world is vast, and that intruder must constantly be fleeing from us. Perhaps he's far away by now. It could take some time to find him. Some time? How long? The prince frowned. I'll give an order now. In my territory, each city shall designate half of its soldiers to search for the intruder from another race. Each of them will connect to the virtual world, and if anyone finds him, they will alert me right away. And all the soldiers must remain connected to the virtual world with their minds. Being disconnected means death at the hands of that intruder. Each prince was in charge of 1 territory, and they were the only leaders of their territories respectively. The prince gave an order to all the armies under him through the virtual world. A great number of Undying warriors and Sector Lord level warriors flocked to the sky and flew out in different directions. Each of the warriors was responsible for 1 area. Search! 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 Quickly! Go! Search the Undying intruder. The creatures in 9 remoteness world were special, as they all had red bodies and bloody horns. They were high-powered life forms with great talents. Like golden horned beasts, they became sector lords automatically as they matured. However, their life level was the same as humans, as they didn't have talent techniques. Since everyone could become a sector lord when they became adults, sector lords were common in the cities, yet compared to humans, the race had a very small population. Howl! Howl! All the indigenous warriors were baying with excitement. They were distributed everywhere across the sky. Some of them used world projection, some used law domain, and some even used undying power inspection. In short, they were trying anything they could think of to search for Luo Feng. 9 remoteness world was not very large, yet Luo Feng hadn't seen even a single member of the race. After more than 10 days fleeing, Luo Feng finally ran into the first searcher. While hiding beneath a lake, Luo Feng looked up and saw a bloody shadow flying quickly through the sky. At the same time, an undying power swept across the lake. Luo Feng hid himself with the micro-detector. He looked above and thought, humph. You think you can find me with such simple undying power inspection? Not while I've got the most advanced micro-detector I can afford. However, as the undying power passed over Luo Feng, it suddenly stopped. No? I'm found. Luo Feng realized immediately. How could I be found? The bloody shadow in the sky wheeled around sharply, looked down, and grew excited. Intruder, it wailed. Su! Luo Feng didn't have the luxury to ponder how he had been found. He flew out of the water, shook his wings, and shot across the sky like a beam of silver light. Intruder! I found the intruder, the undying warrior screamed as it flew after Luo Feng, but it was being left farther and farther behind. He immediately reported it through his virtual world. Ha ha! I found him! This intruder thought I couldn't find him just because he used a detector. Ha ha! In our 9 remoteness world, my undying power is combined with 9 remoteness world energies, and I can distinguish all creatures outside of my race. Even universe knights cannot escape us once they are here. Luo Feng was terrifically fast, and he soon flew out of the undying warrior's sight. How could I have been found? Luo Feng was bewildered as he flew. Even invincible emperors can't find me when I turn my detector on. Bark Mirror Emperor found me because of his extraordinary inspection skills, but this was only an ordinary undying creature of this indigenous race. How did he find me? I'm in trouble. Big trouble. Luo Feng knew peace was no longer an option. Indeed, at that moment, the prince raced toward the area with his 2 universe knights the moment he got the news, and he arranged some undying warriors and universe knights to stop Luo Feng. In the territory that the prince controlled, the undying warriors and sector lord warriors were distributed everywhere, searching for Luo Feng. As a result, even though the prince had ordered them to encircle and suppress Luo Feng, it would take a long time for all the warriors to gather and arrive. Got to get out of here, thought Luo Feng. The army might be scattered among many places. They are probably trying to encircle me, but it might take them a long time to get here. I might still get away if I hurry. Luo Feng cast Shawu Wing and started to fly rapidly, becoming a streak of silver light. I must take advantage of the time and get as far from them as possible, he said under his breath. I must not allow myself to be encircled. Otherwise, I'll be doomed. A great number of indigenous warriors gathered from all directions while Luo Feng tried to escape from their dragnet. On the second day, Luo Feng ran into 3 indigenous warriors consecutively. 2 of them were undying warriors while 1 was a sector lord. Luo Feng's spiritual force entered that sector lord warrior, but all Luo Feng discovered there was a crystal. An energy life, he realized. Like Mosha body. Soul attack is useless on them. Luo Feng glanced at the indigenous sector lord warrior, knowing he wasn't able to manipulate him. He didn't want to waste time killing him, so he shook his wings and flew away. The indigenous sector lord warrior was perplexed. He didn't kill me? He immediately reported it through the virtual world. I found the intruder. I found the fighter from another race. On the second day, Luo Feng encountered 3 indigenous warriors. On the third day, 12. On the fourth day, 21. On the 5th day, he encountered 52 indigenous warriors. As time passed by, the scattered indigenous warriors were continuously gathering, giving Luo Feng a stronger and stronger sense of crisis. But he couldn't do anything about it, the enemies knew his whereabouts. But on the 6th day, something strange happened. He only ran into 1 indigenous warrior. The same thing happened on the 7th day and all the way up to the 12th day. Something's wrong, Luo Feng said. The natives had been tracking me for the past couple of days. They were encircling and suppressing me. The other day, 11 undying fighters tried to team up and kill me. Why have they all disappeared now? Luo Feng sensed a storm coming. He was caught like a rat in a trap. Things were serious this time. In the sky above the mountain valley, the noble and elegant prince and his 2 universe knight servants stood in the sky. I didn't expect that foreign undying fighter to be so good at escaping, the prince said, smiling. The undying fighters from my race can't even catch him. It seems we need to treat him like a universe knight. Your Highness, the dragnet is almost complete, the thin universe knight said respectfully. The 9 generals are all in place and awaiting your orders. Soon the army will capture him. That intruder has no chance to run away. Don't rush. I'll go there first. The prince smiled. I'm curious about this powerful undying fighter. It'll be a pity to let the generals kill him. I'll do it myself. Yes, Your Highness, the 2 universe knights answered with respect. Go, the prince ordered. They flew directly to the dragnet circle. Even the superior prince didn't have any universe knights to serve him. 9 generals were the extent of his influence. Fortunately, it was safe for him in 9 remoteness space. Thus, he could send all the generals there. The native warriors must be preparing to besiege me, said Luo Feng. He stood at the edge of a swamp and frowned. There are probably multiple waves of them. Even if I manage to break through the first wave, the rest of the warriors will draw closer to me. There might even be some teams led by universe knights. Luo Feng had seen indigenous universe knight warriors before. Even Bark Mirror Emperor would have to run from them. I'll be doomed if I run into a native warrior at the universe knight level. Luo Feng frowned. Execute the body plan. 9 figures showed up around Luo Feng. All of them were from other races. Master of Master, they said in unison, saluting Luo Feng. Turn into me, Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Master. All the undying slaves had different forms of godly bodies, and all of them transformed their shapes into that of Luo Feng. The only difference was their auras. Undying fighters could transform their shapes. Although, if they were too large, their strength would be undermined. But that didn't matter to Luo Feng. As for different auras, only a few of the indigenous fighters had seen Luo Feng, and it was almost impossible for the entire army to recognize him. "Follow my lead," Luo Feng ordered. "You're number 1, and you're number 2. You two will move first." With that, Luo Feng initiated his plan. His slaves also had slaves, especially ordinary undying fighters, and official level 1s. Luo Feng didn't mind losing 9 of them if that was what it took to get out of here. Yes, slave number 1 and slave number 2 followed, flying away. Luo Feng's plan depended on the 9 decoys luring the indigenous warriors to change their plan. Just as he was executing his plan, he received a message from the world of glory. The message was simple: True Yang Knight is fighting the Northern Territory Alliance. Luo Feng nearly jumped out of his skin. True Yang Knight? My teacher became a Universe Knight? And he's fighting the Northern Territory Alliance? How is my teacher fighting Northern Territory Alliance? Bark Mirror Emperor came to mind. Although Luo Feng was still carrying out his escape plan, it would take him 2 to 3 days to finish that. He spared a bit of his mind to connect to the world of glory. In the open-air square of the world of glory. Again, Luo Feng's appearance drew the attention of the other heirs. He went to where the Hong Alliance was gathered. What happened? Luo Feng sat down and looked at Cha Man Emperor, Li Emperor, and Thousand Rain Emperor. They are fighting. Thousand Rain Emperor said, excited. It's madness. True Yang Knight is impressive. Cha Man Emperor said. His time in seclusion has made him furious. Now that he's finally broke out, is thrilling. Thrilling, indeed, Li Emperor said. Really thrilling. Come on. Tell me what happened. Luo Feng was totally lost. True Yang Emperor became a Universe Knight? And what's his issue with Northern Territory Alliance? They all looked at Luo Feng. Rumor had it that Luo Feng was Blade River Emperor, and if that was true, it was understandable why Blade River Emperor cared about True Yang Knight so much. True Yang Emperor became a Universe Knight around half a month ago, Cha Man Emperor said. After that, he left Bohinia Island. We don't know where he went, but now we presume he went to 9 Remoteness Space. 9 Remoteness Space? Luo Feng's heart missed a beat. Yes, it happened today, Cha Man Emperor said with thrill. True Yang Knight and Bark Mirror Emperor began doing battle on Rock Island. True Yang Emperor defeated Bark Mirror Emperor, Thousand Rain Emperor said. Can you believe that? Bark Mirror Emperor was almost killed. And he survived only by summoning a great being from his Northern Territory Alliance. And his name is Wan Feng Knight. Wan Feng Knight is a sub-member of the Ancestral God School, Li Emperor said. He's powerful. It was him, said Luo Feng. Other than candidate prophets and candidate deified generals, only high achievers on the path of Beast God inheritance, those who had at least completed the 5th level inheritance, were qualified to be sub-members of the Ancestral God School. 11 Luo Duo, who had completed the 6th level inheritance, was a Universe Overlord. Wan Feng Knight, although not yet a Universe Overlord, was pretty close. And then? Luo Feng asked nervously. True Yang Emperor pulled no punches, Cha Man Emperor said excitedly. After almost killing Bark Mirror Emperor, he started to fight Wan Feng Knight. But Wan Feng Knight is a sub-member of the Ancestral God School. True Yang Knight is not his match. He fled from Wan Feng Knight and retreated back to Bohinia Island. He successfully retreated? Luo Feng said, feeling relieved. Yes, Cha Man Emperor said, nodding. When True Yang Knight was still an emperor, he fought with Universe Knights, and he was able to survive. He's good at escaping. I heard that Bark Mirror Emperor is much slower than True Yang Knight and couldn't even get away. If Wan Feng Knight hadn't arrived when he did, Bark Mirror Emperor would have died. Luo Feng was amazed. His teacher was always so low-key. He had been hiding in Primal Chaos City for hundreds of millions of years, stuck at the final step. Little did others expect that he might be even faster than Bark Mirror Emperor after becoming a Universe Knight, as well as being astoundingly aggressive. Luo Feng was happy for his teacher. Impressive, he said. My teacher can resist Bark Mirror Emperor's talent technique. Luo Feng was curious and exhilarated about that fight. He connected to the virtual universe and got in touch with his teacher. In an exclusive area in the virtual universe. Each Universe Knight of the human race was granted a section of space. This one was a floating golden mountain. The apex of the Golden Mountain was covered with ice and snow. Flames burned beneath the mountain, while in the middle lived countless black plants. They managed to grow tenaciously despite being constantly burned. Luo Feng showed up, smiled, and shouted, "Teacher!" True Yang Knight was sitting in his palace and drinking while wearing golden armor. "Ha ha! Come here, my disciple," True Yang Knight called to Luo Feng. "Drink with me. I'm so joyful. So joyful." Luo Feng walked to his teacher without saying anything. "Disciple, do you know why I'm so joyful?" True Yang Knight looked at Luo Feng. "Why?" Luo Feng asked. "Is it because of your recent battle? I expected to beat Bark Mirror Emperor easily, yet I was severely injured by that Wan Feng Knight. 54% of my godly body was gone. Why would I be joyful of that?" True Yang Knight gritted his teeth. Luo Feng was curious. "Then why are you so joyful, teacher?" "Windfall." True Yang Knight took the wine and drank 3 glasses of it. He then looked at Luo Feng with sparkling eyes. "You know, I'm kind of lucky, too. Although my luck is nothing compared to yours, it's still fairly good." "Teacher, you got a valuable?" Luo Feng asked. "Wrong." True Yang Knight shook his head. "When you become a Universe Knight, unless you make another breakthrough during your practice, getting a valuable is what makes you happiest. However, it's not accurate to say I got a new valuable. I didn't. The reason I'm happy is because the treasure I have turns out to be extraordinary. Although it's not a true treasure, it's definitely a top-tier treasure." Luo Feng smiled. "Congratulations, teacher. I'm indeed happy. I didn't even find it special when I was an undying fighter," True Yang Knight said. "This was the first time I fought after becoming a Universe Knight. Under my new burning godly power, it evolved into a second form. It's definitely a top-tier treasure. If it has a third form, it's qualified as a true treasure." Luo Feng nodded. Wu Wing had 3 forms. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask, "Teacher, what kind of treasure are you talking about?" "Ha ha." True Yang Knight glanced at Luo Feng and continued, "Although I have great techniques, Bark Mirror Emperor is proficient in tracking and inspection, and he has incredible escaping skills. Even though I can suppress him, I can't stop him from running away from me. However, a pair of combat boots I had obtained before changed into their second form, revealing their real power. Those boots I created, the ones with the pinnacle technique, made me much faster," True Yang Knight said. "Even Bark Mirror Emperor couldn't run away from me. I could even escape Wan Feng Knight, who's far stronger than me. My disciple, treasures that can help you flee are precious. Wan Feng Knight is as powerful as Shihua Knight. Being able to get away from him means I'm only an average-level Universe Knight, but I'm much better at fleeing. Getting a treasure is indeed delightful. All the more so if you discover that an ordinary treasure you already possess is incredibly powerful." Luo Feng considered these words. Even a dusty old treasure might still shine someday. True Yang had also, finally, seized his opportunity to shine. After many long years, he now stood among the great beings of the universe. "Teacher," said Luo Feng, "you said you're only at the average level. How did you crush Bark Mirror Emperor? I've heard that lots of Universe Knights are afraid of him." "Bark Mirror Emperor isn't that powerful himself," True Yang Knight explained. "It's his talent techniques that make him strong. You should know, an ordinary Universe Knight has a godly body 100 times stronger than an Emperor limit." "Yes, I do." Luo Feng nodded. "Even the most average Universe Knights have godly bodies 10 million times stronger than Sector Lords," True Yang Knight continued. "Every Universe Knight will try to improve their life level. Generally, they can improve it several times. As for me, I've already improved mine 10 times. After I became a Universe Knight, my godly body became 100 million times that of a Sector Lord. Bark Mirror Emperor's godly body is 2,000 times stronger than that of an average Emperor limit, which means his godly body is only twice as powerful as mine." Luo Feng nodded. That gap was not excessively large. His godly body, together with his defending true treasures, is what gives him the leverage to rival ordinary Universe Knights. Unfortunately for him, his attacking skills are mediocre, and his godly body is only twice as powerful as mine. Besides, his law comprehension is worse than Universe Knights, and his techniques are weaker than most Universe Knights. That's why he has such mediocre attacking skills. He can only resort to his talent techniques. His talent techniques are indeed mighty, True Yang Knight went on. Fortunately, I'm on the warrior path. I've been studying soul defense technique, knowing that warriors are most vulnerable to soul attacks like illusions. I already had strong soul defense when I roamed the universe before, and it's already a pinnacle technique. During my hundreds of millions of years in Chaos City, I spent much of my time and energy creating techniques because I knew I couldn't have a key breakthrough in law comprehension. Though I'm not as talented as you, I created 3 pinnacle techniques after hundreds of millions of years of practice. The most useful and powerful one is soul defense technique. It's still a pinnacle technique, but it's 10 times sturdier than the original one. True Yang Knight smiled and added, my burning godly power, my soul defense technique, and my will, after being polished for hundreds of millions of years, give me the confidence to resist that soul attack. After all, Bark Mirror Emperor has never killed a Universe Knight up until now. Luo Feng nodded. Shu Chong Emperor had killed Universe Knights before, but Bark Mirror Emperor hadn't. I can withstand his talent technique attack. True Yang Knight grinned. After that, he'll be crushed. On Bohinia Island. In Bark Mirror Emperor's palace. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Bark Mirror Emperor roared. His voice echoed through his palace. No one outside could hear it. Hatefulness filled his heart. Damn you, True Yang! Bark Mirror Emperor clenched his teeth. I remember you, now. You dared attack me. You dared attack the great special organism. You're seeking death. When I become a Universe Knight, I'll crush you like a bug. Impressive, though, that you could withstand my talent technique. And that staff technique is terrifying. Bark Mirror Emperor shuddered as he recalled what had happened. True Yang had almost killed him with the black staff. If I didn't have my true treasures. And if Wan Feng hadn't arrived in time. Bark Mirror Emperor shivered at the thought. Although his protecting true treasure was mighty, True Yang Knight was apparently more advanced at law comprehension, and the staff technique was exceptional. Even though the protecting real treasure was significantly weakened, his godly body still deteriorated. Bark Mirror Emperor was full of resentment, seething with insanity. He had never been so close to death before. The more he thought about it, the more he hated that human. Just you wait, he muttered. Someday, I'll become a Universe Knight. Just you wait. In the world of 9 remoteness space. Luo Feng's mind had just come back from the virtual universe. Rumor has it a Universe Knight turned from an invincible emperor is more powerful than ordinary Universe Knights. Luo Feng nodded. That rumor, it seems, is far from baseless. Practice makes perfect. My teacher is an invincible emperor already, and after practicing for an eternity, his techniques are constantly being refined. Now that he's made his breakthrough, he's magnificent. Luo Feng smiled. Mosha body had finally reached the world trees. As long as I get a leaf from the world tree, muttered Luo Feng, I can breed my 3rd body. Then I'll become undying. You dare to rob me, Bark Mirror Emperor? I shall kill you after I become undying. Luo Feng had extra confidence in himself. Once he became undying, his targets would be several Universe Knights, and some unique organisms like Shu Chong Emperor. As for Bark Mirror Emperor, he'd kill him directly. This shot determines whether or not I can get a leaf from the world tree. Luo Feng considered his future for a moment. He concentrated on his Mosha body. On Tree Island in 9 remoteness space. Beautiful plants covered the serene landscape of Tree Island. Seeds floated through the air. Mosha body's seed cluster landed on the ground beside the Sector Lord level world tree. Arrived, Mosha body said. This is it. He had been looking forward to this for a long time. Through the tiny filaments of the seed cluster, he could see everything in the front of him. The world tree towered over him, each of its leaves like emerald jades. Halos surrounded the crown and the trunk. Meanwhile, in the cave of Rock Island, a pinnacle emperor slave with a flame origin crystal teleported himself 3 times. After the 2nd teleportation, he arrived in the sky of the ocean. After the 3rd, he arrived at the center of Tree Island, the domain of world trees. He arrived in the crown of the Sector Lord level world tree nearest to Mosha body, around 300,000 miles away. Explode! The pinnacle emperor slave threw the flame origin crystal, then promptly teleported again, moving 600,000 miles away. He arrived under a huge tree canopy. He started to attack the Sector Lord level world tree. The flame origin crystal exploded. This flame origin crystal was more powerful than the one that had exploded last time, and at a close enough range to kill a Luo emperor. And this was already a relatively weaker flame god crystal. In the aftermath of the explosion, everything close to the crystal was annihilated. In the distance, a plethora of twigs were blasted away like arrows, and the shredded leaves shot out in all angles, carried by the shockwave of the blast. "Twigs of world trees," said the Pinnacle Emperor slave as it grabbed a twig 1,000 feet thick. "Break!" The Emperor slave tried to snap the twig. The Sector Lord World Tree started to roar furiously. Its entire canopy trembled. Its twigs and leaves slashed at the Pinnacle Emperor slave. damn other races, it roared. "You dare to hurt me again? Die? Die?" This video will end here.